All right, shalom everybody. Welcome back to Wednesday night class, and want to give a shout out and shalom to everybody that came in person. Shout out to Water. Good seeing y'all. Good seeing everybody, all the brothers and sisters and the children, and also shout out and shalom to everybody online. To our brothers out in Houston, Norfolk, Virginia, Rochester, New York. Stream of Wisdom. Shout out and shalom to you as well. Shout out to Cabo down in Guatemala. Outside in London. Shout out to you as well, brothers. And all the brothers that watch online from California to Florida to New Mexico, Canada, so on and so forth. Shout out and shalom to you as well. And let's go ahead and get started. And let's try to get through this entire topic. The topic is called Trained in an Ocean of Faith. All right, the topic is called Trained in an Ocean of Faith. And the reason why this topic is the way it is because an ocean, when you look at like origins of the word ocean, whether it be Greek, a lot of the depths refer to chaos. The ocean is known as chaos in a lot of antiquity. But regardless of the chaos or circumstances that you go through, you have to understand what it is that the Most High and why is He taking you through this. And we'll see through the scriptures that this concept is not far-fetched. This idea is not far-fetched from what we have to go through in life. Regardless of what the Most High throws at us, we have to be ready to endure it and understand the lesson and hopefully get the lessons behind it. So the topic, once again, is called Trained in an Ocean of Faith. We have the scriptures up on the board. Let's go ahead and get started with Matthew chapter 14, verse 22. Let that be the first scripture that we're going to. Matthew chapter 14, verse 22.
Okay. Matthew chapter 14 and verse 22 reads. Ready?
Yes, sir.
And straightway Yahushua constrained his disciples to get into a ship.
All right. So Yahushua went ahead and commanded his disciples, you guys go ahead and get in the ship. Head out, push forward, read on.
Come, and to go before him unto the other side.
He says, you guys go, you disciples, you go before me. I'll meet y'all on the other side. So y'all go ahead and get in the ship and go ahead and depart, and I'll meet y'all on the other side. Read on.
While he sent the multitudes away, and when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up into a mountain apart to pray. Now,
one thing that we're able to see right here is that he sent off the multitudes. He also sent off the disciples, and he said he went to where?
And he went up into a mountain apart to pray.
He says he went to a mountain apart to do what?
To pray.
So, showing you that Yahushua valued what?
Prayer.
He valued prayer. And he also valued one-on-one time. You see how Yahushua had went ahead and removed the disciples, gave them an order, a set of instructions. Y'all go forward. The multitude that was there on site, you guys go ahead and be dismissed back to your homes. And then he isolated himself for one-on-one time. And that time is very valuable when you're in the process of trying to endure certain situations. That one-on-one time is necessary to be undisturbed and to have your mind focused and not be distracted. That's necessary in the spirit, no matter what battle you're fighting. It's great to have some one-on-one time with the Most High and an opportunity for solitude and to be free from distraction. And that purpose of being isolated is not so that you can take upon more comforts and more of your own personal desires, but any solitude or any undistracted time should be given to the Most High. So everybody should be making time. And he's showing you what he was doing here. Read on.
Come. He went up into a mountain apart to pray.
All right, tell them where we at first.
Come. St. Matthew chapter 14, verse 23.
Go ahead.
And when the evening was come, he was there alone.
It says, and when the evening was come, he was in the mountain where?
Alone.
By himself. Why is that so necessary? Before we even go into the topic, why is that so necessary that we pick and choose some isolation time, some undisturbed time to give our minds to the Most High. Undeterred, unbothered, solitary time. Why is that critical? Yes, sir.
Two things. One, so that the Most High knows that it's genuine. He sees that it's important. And two, so you don't have any other distractions that are pulling your mind away from the communication that you're having with the Father, that one-on-one time.
Absolutely. Let's go to Ecclesiastes in the Apocrypha just to expound on this point a little bit. We're going to go to Ecclesiastes. I'm sorry, we can fix this. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 38 and verse 24.
Ecclesiasticus, in the Apocrypha, chapter 38, verse 24.
Hold on, let me make sure this is it before we even go there.
Listen to the learned about between Israel.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Page 93 in the Red Book.
Read that.
Yes, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 38, verse 24. The wisdom of a learned man cometh by opportunity of leisure.
It says you're able to acquire wisdom when you make opportunity for what?
Of leisure.
But leisure time doesn't equal TV time. Leisure time doesn't equate sleep time. Leisure time doesn't mean I'm just going to satisfy my personal indulgences, because I got some free time. The free time that Christ possessed was geared towards him having more of a bond with the Most High. Him connecting with the Most High that much more. That's what he used his free time for. That's what he used his leisure time for. Read on.
It says, and he that hath little business shall become wise.
But if you're always occupied with something, not saying that being gainfully employed is a bad thing, it's not. But if you always got pulls and you always have things taking your attention and taking your focus, and there's always something, because when you look at the projects, especially when it comes to homemaking, there's always something that needs to be done in a home. Whether it be dishes, whether it be laundry, whether it be cleaning, whether it be sanitation, whether it be cooking, whether it be some type of there's always something that needs to be done. Whether it be changing light bulbs, something breaks down, vehicles, there's always something that needs to be fixed. And there's always work that needs to be done. But that can't take away from the time that you give to the Most High. So if you have too much business, you got too many distractions, you got too many pulls, you're stealing away the one-on-one time necessary for you to engage in a great relationship with the Father. Now we saw what Christ just did in Matthew. He sent off the disciples and he sent off the multitude so he can have some alone time, some leisure time to pray. Read on.
Verse 25. It says, how can he get wisdom?
It said, how can you get wisdom? Go ahead.
That holdeth the plow.
If you're always working, you're always doing something, and you're always occupied, finagling, fiddling with something, doing something.
Widgets.
Yeah. Fidgeting with widgets or the things to do list. If you always got something going on, you'll never really give the Most High the time that you need for him to talk to you, speak to you, to pray, to pour out your concerns. Ask the Most High for particular requests. You'll never be able to do it when you're always holding the plow. You can't hold the plow and get wisdom at the same time. So he's showing you it's very difficult to do both. Not saying it can't be done, but you have to isolate time. You have to make time. You have to put away time, set aside time, so that you and the Most High can have a one-on-one. Right? Because that's what Christ did. Yes, sir.
Undivided attention.
Undivided attention, not broken. The attention you give the Most High is not broken. So I think we got this point. Finish that verse.
It says, how can he get wisdom that holdeth the plow, and that glorieth in the goad?
Go ahead.
That driveth oxen, and is occupied in their labor.
It says, and I'm always occupied in what?
Their labor.
If you're always occupied in labor, and you will rarely set time aside, and sometimes the excuses are almost justified. Well, who's going to take care of the kids? Who's going to wash these dishes? These dishes are not going to wash themselves. The dishwasher don't wash dishes. Anybody that knows that, dishwashers don't wash dishes. They give you the false notion that the dishes are clean. They're not. But the house don't clean itself. Things don't take care of itself. So A lot of times, let's make sure the kids are quiet. A lot of times, what we do is we make excuses, and sometimes they're legitimate. I got things to do. Everybody got things to do, but you have to separate what you got to do, what's your responsibilities, and put the Most High first. You got to set aside that time. Yes, sir.
Definition of labor. That's what you're talking about.
Nah, let's not need it. We're not going too deep into it. We get the point. Read on.
It says, and whose talk is of bullocks.
Go ahead, verse 31. That's all you talk about is the work you got, the things on your plate, the multiple responsibilities, the list of never-ending list of things that you got to accomplish. All that is taking away your time from the Most High.
The endless sandcastles is what it built.
Yeah, something.
It is.
You fix something, it breaks down. You clean something, it gets dirty. It's a cycle. Read on. Jump down to verse 31.
Verse 31. It says, all these trust to their hands, and everyone is wise in his work.
Yeah, but when it comes to work, work will take our minds. That's why I said when it comes to work, yeah, you know what work you got to do. Man, I got to do this. Hey, brother, you got time to for this council? You got time to do this? Man, I got so many things I got to do. My hands are full. I'm guilty of this myself. I say this to myself because when you're thinking about the needs of a body, it goes beyond just your own personal needs. When you're thinking about what it takes to manage responsibilities, it can be overwhelming, and you can easily become consumed and become a workaholic. And you can only be occupied, and the only thing you talk about is, man, I got all this work to do. I got things that I haven't completed. I got work that's unfinished. I got this, and that, and the third. All these things are just reasons why we don't have a one-on-one time with the Most High. But it can't be an excuse. Even though sometimes it sounds valid. I'm guilty of it. I know it all too well. Because I always say, man, I got work to do. I barely got time to do this. I don't got time. Well, you got to make time. That's what Christ did. Read on.
Verse 32. It says, without these cannot a city be inhabited.
Yeah, there is work related situations that require your attention. It says you need labor to keep a city going. Read on.
And they shall not dwell where they will.
And you could also say it takes labor to keep a house going.
Yeah.
And if you don't put work into a house, you won't have a house. You don't maintain it. You don't maintain the bills. The bills alone, mail comes in. Some of it's clutter, some of it's junk mail, but you got to read it. You got to look at it. You just can't just say, man, I'm so overwhelmed. I'm just going to take this whole pile that's in the mailbox and just throw it in a bag. And then I'll look at it later. You're not going to look at it later. You're not going to look at it later until the mail starts changing colors.
Yeah. That's what
And then when it starts going yellow to pink to red, then you start, man, I didn't even know this was in here. Because there are certain things when it comes to keeping the house going, it can be overwhelming, easily overwhelming. Read on.
It says, nor go up and down.
And it says, yeah, you can't go up and down in a city because there's always work. Workers are needed. Maintenance is needed. Read on.
They shall not be sought for in public counsel.
It says, but when somebody is too occupied in work because they put no time aside to accumulate wisdom, you can't depend on this individual for counsel. You can't depend on this individual for instruction. Now they can tell you about work.
Yep.
They can tell you about work all day long.
Yeah.
But when it comes to instruction, spiritual instruction, when it comes to wisdom, when it comes to advice, they'll say, well, I think you should talk to so-and-so. Because they have nothing to give outside of their particular scope of labor. Because that's all that they're occupied with. We become creatures of habit. That's all we're concerned about is work. We can't talk about anything outside of that. Well, I can tell you what it takes to get up in the morning. I can tell you how to wash dishes. I can tell you how to do all these things. But when it comes to actually fixing spiritual issues, man, I'm not the one for that. Why are you not the one for that? Why am I empty-handed when it comes to having to give people something spiritual? Because I never took the time necessary to accumulate something spiritual because I never made the time. Read on.
Nor sit high in the congregation.
It says, nor I'll never go up in rank. Message. If you don't like the position you are in a camp, and you feel like you could be used in a better circumstance, and you think you have a more value than what you're used at as far as the capacity that you operate in, then guess what? Then how about you make more time for the Most High to accumulate more wisdom, so that the spiritual need of you, not just the physical need of you, can be accomplished and manifested. Because we have work here too. For everybody that knows San Antonio, we go to work. That work is nothing that we're shy of or allergic to. We go to work. But also, it's not just the fact of bending over, picking things up, dropping things off, repairing things, driving things, logistics, doing logistics on things, getting things from one place to another. That's not the only work we do. There's a spiritual job as well that's necessary that you won't be able to be used for if you don't set aside that time with the Most High needed to give to Him, so that you can get what the Most High gives you. Read on. Tell them what verse you on.
So we're in Ecclesiasticus, chapter 38, verse 33.
Read on.
It says, "They shall not be sought for in public council, nor sit high in the congregation."
So just going to work, there's a limit to how far you go as far as being useful to the Most High. Yes, you need workers, but if that's all you want, then that's fine. But when it comes to councils, and a brother say, "Hey, brother, you mind stepping out so we can have this council?" That should be a message to you that what? If a man got to say, "Hey, brother, do you mind giving us a moment?" That should be a sign that says what? I haven't accumulated what?
Enough wisdom.
I haven't accumulated enough wisdom to be involved in this council. My understanding is not needed for this particular council because I haven't accumulated enough to be involved in this particular council. Read on.
It says, "They shall not sit in the judge's seat, nor understand the sentence of judgment."
It says, nor understand the what?
The sentence of judgment.
The sentence of judgment is knowing how the Most High thinks. Judgment is knowing how to look at things the way the Most High looks at things. If you don't separate yourself and give the Most High one-on-one time, you'll never learn how to think like the Most High thinks. You'll never learn how to look at a situation how the Most High looks at a situation and give that same determination. So what's the whole point of this? You got to make time for wisdom. You got to make time for understanding. You got to make time for solitude and for solitary moments where you and the Most High can connect. And we're gonna see how this works in practice too. It says they'll never do what?
It says, nor sit at the high seat of congregation. They shall not sit in the judge's seat, nor understand the sentence of judgment.
It says, nor understand the sentence of judgment, of what the Most High wants from you. Go to Acts chapter 22, and let's hold this right here, y'all. Where you at? We're gonna get back to it in a minute. Go to Acts chapter 22, and I want you to go to start at verse 14.
God, Acts chapter 22, verse 14. "And he said, The Most High of our fathers hath chosen thee, that thou shouldest know his will."
He says, the Most High, the power of our fathers have chosen thee, that thou shouldest know what?
That thou shouldest know his will.
That you should know the Most High's what?
His will.
But how can you know the Most High's will when you never give the Most High time to explain His will to you? Do you think that you could just put the Bible on your pillow, and because you got the Bible on your pillow, or you fall asleep on the Bible, that the understanding of the Bible just supposed to just be osmosis and just travel to your spirit because you slept on the Bible? Because I fell asleep on the Bible and I have drooled on the Bible, that the Most High is supposed to give me wisdom because I made a connection. I woke up kissing the Bible. And so I'm showing the Most High, man, I'm trying. I read. No, man, you gotta free yourself for a moment. Put yourself to the side. Free yourself as you can, and just give the Most High His time. You have to make that time. You have to make it. Read.
And see that just 1.
And see that just one, which is the Father. Read on.
And shouldest hear the voice of his mouth.
How are you going to hear the voice of the Most High's mouth, but you never study enough? You're always getting bombarded with the phone is always ringing. Duties are always have to be done. Things are always necessary that require your attention. Plus, let alone the things that you want, that you fancy, that entertain you on a personal level.
That gets taken. That box gets checked.
Yeah, because that's the Instagram, that's the Facebook, that's the tweeting, that's the X, that's all the other social media things that bombard you to take away your attention. Well, how can you ever hear the Most High voice? Read on.
God, verse 15. For thou shalt be his witness unto all men.
Because you're supposed to be
A witness.
a witness to who?
Unto all men.
So you're supposed to be witnessing the Most High's will to all men. But how can you do that if you never hear the words of the Most High and you don't make time for the Most High?
It's crazy.
You got something to say?
I got a verse. Yes.
What you got?
It's Nehemiah 8, the time of the feast day. Separate themselves.
Yes, that's good.
Come on. Nehemiah 9, chapter 9, verse 1 through 3.
Nehemiah chapter 9, verse 1. Now in the
Get
12th.
to it, right?
Awesome.
Yeah. Don't give it a moment. Nehemiah 9 and verse 1. Everybody get there?
Mm-hmm. Put it on that Matthew. Or, yeah, put it on Matthew 14. We'll come back to it. And matter of fact, I'm going to Ecclesiastes.
Okay. Read it, sir.
Nehemiah chapter 9, verse 1. Now in the 24th day of this month, the children of Israel were assembled with fasting and with sackcloths and earth upon them.
Now, just like how America has their holidays, has their get-togethers, their gatherings, tomorrow will be a great example. July 4th, right? July 4th is a big time in American history. Well, we have our gatherings. During this time specifically, it was around the time roughly of the memorial of blowing of trumpets. So what they were doing is they gathered, they fasted, they took off with their regular garments, put on sackcloth, and went to a state of mourning. Read on.
Verse 2. And the seed of Israel separated themselves from all strangers.
And how Israel back in the day would prepare themselves to get reacquainted with the Most High. They would separate themselves from strangers, meaning all commerce was going to stop. All dealings with anybody else, any other distraction was going to stop. Read on.
And stood and confessed their sins.
And their mind wholly was on reconciling with the Most High, meditating on their previous mistakes, meditating on the previous year's issues and their failures and shortcomings in the spirit. Read on.
And the iniquities of their fathers.
Read on.
And they stood up in their place and read in the book of the law of the Most High their power, 1/4 part of the day.
Now, most of us can't even do this on a regular basis or at all. 1/4 part of the day is how many hours? So Israel, as a nation, stood in their place, congregated together, and read the Bible for 6 hours straight, just to show how sincere they were with the Most High.
Yeah, we struggle with 30 minutes.
15.
Yeah.
So we were listening for 30 minutes.
We think we got one verse and we did our homework.
You can knock out 5 verses, which is the homework,
Yeah.
in like 10, 15 minutes.
10 minutes.
And that fries us out. But Israel, in order to show the Most High their sincerity, to reconcile, they were staying in their place for 6 hours just reading. That was just the first part of the day. Read on.
And another 4th part they confessed.
And they also added another 4th part, which is how many hours now?
6.
So now we have 12 hours of
Yep.
just straight worship and studying and dedication and reconciling and pure sincerity. This is how our people were doing it back in the day. Unlike nowadays, we can't even go to church for more than 2 hours. We can't even sit still for more than 3 hours in the class.
If class is more than 2 hours, it's too much.
There's wigging out going on. The spiritual wigging out.
There's a disconnection.
There is. It's too much Bible. Sabbath class goes crazy out. 4 hours is too much. 5 hours is too much class. But back in the day, this is how we were handling our meditation time. Just like Christ. They separated themselves from everything else. Every other distraction. Every other concern. They weren't at their house reading the Bible. They weren't in their vineyards reading the Bible. It's solely about studying and praying and worshiping.
But just in that note, in order to confess for 6 hours straight, you have to really do some soul searching and deep meditation about what issues you have. That means you have a very heightened awareness and a high conscious about what's wrong with you. But a lot of us don't feel like nothing's wrong.
It's a 15-minute conversation.
Yeah, we can't confess anything because I really don't see what's wrong with you.
I'm just hungry.
But it's a great point. All right, you done with that?
Yeah, I'm done with that.
All right, let's go back. That's a great point. Let's go back to Acts chapter 22.
I'm just hungry.
Acts
Now you and
chapter
your
22, I believe we're in 15.
We get hangry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're in
15 now.
yeah.
John, Acts chapter 22, verse 15. For thou shalt be his witness unto all men of what thou hast seen and heard.
Jump down to verse 17.
17. And it came to pass that when I was come again to Jerusalem,
This is Paul. He says, and it came to pass that when I was come again to Jerusalem. Go ahead.
even while I prayed in the temple,
He said, even when I prayed in the temple. Go ahead.
God, I was in a trance.
Now, how severe must you be praying in order to go into a trance?
Bro.
How in tune must you be in order to go into a trance?
You mean like a dream state?
Yeah, you're
Like
awake.
state?
You're awake, but you're disconnected. You've ascended out of the body. The body is not pulling on you anymore.
Yeah.
You're not itching. You're not hungry. The sensations of the body aren't plaguing you.
Yeah.
They aren't ailing you. You're not thinking about, damn, my feet hurt. I've been up on my feet all day. I'm tired. My stomach hurt. I got cramps. You're not thinking about the body. You've ascended out of the body. You're still awake, but you're in a celestial state, not a terrestrial state. Your body is here, but your spirit is with the Most High. How deep must you meditate on to where you go into a trance? This is what Paul is saying. He said he was praying so much that he went into a trance. Read on.
Verse 18. And saw him saying unto me, make haste.
And he said he got a message. He got a message that said what?
Make haste.
Quick. You better move quick. Read on.
And get thee quickly out of Jerusalem.
He said, get out of Jerusalem now.
Bro.
Get up and get out of Jerusalem right now. Now, this is what he heard in his trance, in his prayer. Get up and get out of Jerusalem. Read on.
For they will not receive thy testimony concerning me.
He said because Christ was talking to Paul. You know what Paul was doing? He was praying so much where he was able to commune with Christ. And Christ gave him a forewarning within his prayer. He says they're not going to do what?
And get thee, for they will not receive thy testimony concerning me.
They're not going to follow you. They're not going to believe you. Think about what Paul just received from Christ. Read on.
19. And I said, Lord, they know that I am imprisoned and beaten in every that. And I said, Lord, they know that I am imprisoned and beat in every synagogue them that believed on thee.
He says, Paul is debating with what the Spirit is telling him. Because he's like, well, they know where I come from. They know where I stand at. They know me for my reputation. I'm known as one to beat people that don't believe in Christ. So what Paul is thinking is that I don't have anything to fear because they don't really know my real intention as a Christian, as a follower of Christ, as a disciple or student of Christ, as an apostle of Christ. He believes that he can disguise himself under his old reputation. I can still be in Jerusalem because they're going to see the old Paul. They know me as the old Paul.
The Pharisee.
They don't know me as the one that's forfeiting everything for you. But they know me in this state. So he thinks he can hide in that state amongst Jerusalem. But Christ is already telling them, you better get out of there. They don't believe you. They're not going to buy that. Read on.
God, verse 20. And when the blood of thy martyr Stephen was shed, I also was standing by, and consenting unto his death, and kept the raiment of them that slew him. And he said unto me, Depart.
Now think about what he's saying. He's telling Christ, they know the old Paul, they don't know the new me. But Christ is telling them what? Depart, man.
Depart.
Get out of there. Get out. That's the first get out.
They're on to you.
They're on to you. So think about if he wasn't setting aside time to meditate to that degree, where he went into a trance-like state, would he have ever received the message that he received that forewarned him to get the hell out of Jerusalem? No, he wouldn't have. I say that because how intense do we need to be then in order to hear a word from the Most High and know his will? Where it can be a forewarning of things to come. But you never got it because you never knew the Most High's will, because you never isolated time to study and pray. Because you never set time aside to study and pray. So how many warnings have you forfeited or messages that you just walked into situations you walked into blindly because you never knew the Most High's will? Think about the benefit that Paul had here was the fact that he set aside time to pray and isolate himself, and that he was so in tune he went into a trance where he received the message to get out of Jerusalem. Had he not done that, Paul probably been a dead man at that time. But Christ said what? Depart. Read on.
Verse 21, middle of 21. Depart, for I will send thee far hence unto the Gentiles.
He said, man, I got to get you out of Jerusalem, and I'm going to send you far away from here. Because they're going to kill you. When did he get this message? When he was praying. But we may undermine one-on-one time with the Most High. We may undermine isolation time with the Father. But how many messages are you missing? How many warnings are you missing? How many situations could you have dodged or got out of, or the Most High was actually protecting you from, but you never got the message because you were too busy? Because you was too busy with work. You were distracted because you had all these things going on in your life that you felt like were more important. Because you were just so busy. And you just had so much going on. So that I missed all the forewarnings. Now go back and finish that let that go. And let's go back and finish that in Ecclesiastes 38 and verse 33.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 38, verse 33. It says, they shall not be sought for in public council,
Read on.
nor sit in the congregation. Nor sit high in the congregation. They shall not sit on the judge's seat, nor understand the sentence of judgment.
Why? Read on.
They cannot declare justice and judgment.
He says they cannot declare what?
Justice and judgment.
It says they cannot declare justice and they cannot declare judgment because they have not set the time aside to make it important. They have not made the time to make it critical to where they can give the Most High what he needs to get instruction from the Father and understand his will. They haven't put the time in. Because work was always ever prevalent and more important. Because I had all these other things that I had to do that became nothing more than a mere distraction. Read on.
It says, and they shall not be found where parables are spoken.
And when it comes to where wisdom is spoken, they're not going to be amongst that group. They're not part of that group. Read on.
Verse 34. But they will maintain the state of the world.
You will still be useful. You will still have a job. You will still have a purpose. But your purpose is limited. The scale and volume of what the Most High can use you for is limited. Because you won't set aside the necessary time to become more than just a back, some legs, and a body. Finish that?
And all their desire is in the work.
It says, and all their desire is in what?
Is in the work.
All I talk about is what?
Work.
Oh man, I got too many things on my plate. I got all this stuff going on. I got all these projects that I got to do. I got all this unfinished business. I got all these things pulling on me. I got the kids pulling on me. I got wife pulling on me. I got husband pulling on me. I got this pulling on me. I got friends calling me. I got problems, health issues, doctor visits. I got all these things going on.
And I'm not nurturing the relationship with the Most High. And marriages especially, a lot of times the nurturing the marriage or the connection is forgotten in the midst of work. And the common term is we're two ships passing the night. But if we're the Most High's real, it's the same thing too. He has his will, but you know what? I'm quote unquote doing the work. I'm sitting in class. I'm doing work with the brothers. But I'm so busy with the brothers or my job or work that you know what? If he wanted me to have more time, he'd give it to me. We make comments like this, like, you know what, Most High will give me more time. But then when we get the more time, it goes to other things.
What does it go to?
It goes, it trickles to other places. It trickles to follow. I love the class you're bringing out. It just shows that if we're not intentional about nurturing our marriages, if we're not intentional about nurturing bonds with men, if we're not intentional about nurturing a bond with the Most High, then we just grow apart. Households grow apart, brothers grow apart, and then our man will grow away from the Most High. He'll find other passions. The true thing, you know what? I'm not really stimulated anymore. It doesn't stimulate me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
How does a person get that point where they say, I'm not stimulated?
Or fulfilled.
Or I'm not fulfilled. That means you've gone months to years without really introspection, communicating and counseling, and really trying to grow spiritually. It was a routine. A person goes in the routine spirit versus making that adjustment. I like the punch of it.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 8, verse 1. If we're honest with ourselves, we can understand how we cheat the Most High.
We get mad when we don't get that time we want.
Yeah, but you know, we feel like we cheat the Most High when it comes to giving Him His time.
Yeah.
But on the back end though, I feel like I'm only being used in one capacity, one dimension. Well, you only make yourself available in one dimension. All you talk about is what? Work. So you talk about labor. Reed, we'll answer this question. This is a great question. We'll answer this question too. We'll answer the question online. No, we don't need to type it up. It's here on the computer as well. But we're going to answer the question. We're going to answer that question in the middle of the class. Hopefully we can get to that. But this question the sister asked online, it will be answered in the class. We just don't want to jump ahead too soon. What you got?
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 8, verse 1.
Read that.
Wisdom reaches from one end to another mightily.
It says wisdom is everywhere. It's not like it's hard to find. He said wisdom reaches from one end to another mightily. Read on.
And sweetly does she order all things.
Read on.
I loved her.
Solomon said what?
I loved her.
Solomon said, I love wisdom. You got to love wisdom. Read on.
And sought her out from my youth.
He said, and I've been looking for her since I was young. He said, I've been looking for wisdom for a long time. I've been seeking wisdom and searching out for wisdom for a while. So that sounds like a passion. Read on.
I desire to make her my spouse.
He said, I want to marry who?
Wisdom.
I want to be married to wisdom. I'm trying to have a relationship with wisdom. Read on.
And I was a lover of her beauty.
And I loved her. The wisdom is attractive to Solomon. The problem is the Most High's word and His will and His judgment and His understanding and His wisdom is not always attractive to men. But don't be mad when you're just used in one capacity. Maintain the estate of the city or maintain the estate of the world. One dimension. Read on.
Verse 3. And that she is conversing with the Most High.
It says because wisdom is like when you have a conversation with wisdom, you're having a conversation with who?
The Most High.
It's like you're talking to the Most High when you talk to
That
wisdom,
makes a lot of
and when
sense.
wisdom is speaking to you. Read on.
She magnified her nobility.
She magnified her
That's
nobility.
so understandable.
Yeah.
When
So
a person's actually submitting or talking or communicating or hearing wisdom, we don't treat like the Most High. We treat like that's just a man talking to us, that's just a brother saying his opinion.
yeah, true. Read on.
Yeah, the Lord of all things himself loved her.
It said even the Most High loves who?
Wisdom.
Wisdom. Jump down to verse 16.
Verse 16. Wisdom of Solomon 8 and 16. After am I come into mine house.
Read it again.
After I am come into mine house.
So when you get home from work, this is the actions of what somebody does that's also a lover of wisdom, that finds wisdom attractive, that wants to be married to and acquainted and have a relationship with wisdom, is that after I come home, I come into my house, I jump on the TV. I jump on a video game. I know that's what he's about to say. I catch up on my Netflix account. I got my Hulu already saved on what I want to watch. He's got to say that. Or I go work on my car outside. I cut the grass. I go fix things that need to be done around the house. I know he's about to say that I got other things that's so important that I got to do these things first. Let's find out. Read.
After I am come into mine house, I will repose myself with her.
It said, I will spend time with her. I will repose myself with her. What does repose mean? Let's get it. Get the definition. This is what somebody does that's a lover of wisdom. He said, when they get home, he said, after I come into my house, when you get home, do you do what Solomon does, who is a lover of wisdom, who loves having conversations with the Most High? You got it correct?
Repose, 1828, Webster's Dictionary. It means to lay, to rest as the mind in confidence or trust, to place in confidence.
So, do you place your confidence in the Most High or the multitude of things that you got to juggle on a daily basis? Is that where your confidence is in the fact that you are able, you got things to do, and you're not at ease until you do all the things that you have to do as far as your personal business? Or do you make time for the Most High? Do you make time to have one-on-one time with the Father? What you got?
I got some more. It says, rest of mind, tranquility, freedom from uneasiness.
So do you connect with the Most High as a source of comfort and consolation? Is the Most High's word your comfort, your relaxation, or is that recliner or that pillow top mattress your comfort? Because we got or some I got to give me a little take the edge off and give me a drink. I got to pour me up something. Just I need to relax a little bit. Everybody resort to something, but do you resort to the Most High's word when you come home? Read on.
Come, for her conversation hath no bitterness.
It says, because when I'm talking to wisdom, there is no what?
Bitterness.
There is no bitterness. It's a source of comfort for me. This is where I relax my mind at when I get home. I make it important. I'm making an important decision to isolate myself, to give me and the Most High time so that I can decompress from the stresses of the day. Read on.
And to live with her hath no sorrow.
And when you're living with wisdom, there's no what?
There's
No sorrow.
So obviously, if your house is full of sorrow, then maybe you may want to reconsider who you're spending time with and what you're choosing to be your comfort. We understand that?
Come.
What happens when you have her? Jump up to verse 10.
Come, Wisdom of Solomon 8 and 10. For her sake I shall have estimation among the multitude, and honor with the elders, though I be young.
It said, once again, same thing we just read a minute ago in Ecclesiastes 38. It says, you will not be found in the seat of judgment because you don't have wisdom. But when you accumulate wisdom, It says, even though you may be of young age or you may not have a lot of time spent on earth, you're still able to acquaint yourself with conversations that require some type of maturity, spiritual maturity and understanding. That is beyond just basics. Read on.
Come, verse 11. I shall be found of a quick conceit.
And also when I look to attribute myself to Mary wisdom, he says, I shall be found with what?
A quick conceit in judgment.
It says, I will be found with a quick conceit of judgment. What does that mean? What does that mean? I'll be found with a quick conceit of judgment. What does that mean?
Your judgment becomes sharper.
It's sharp. Your judgment is sharp. Why? Because you're acquainted with the way the Most High thinks. So you're able to recall the tenets of the Lord. You're able to recall what's appropriate in behavior, what's discretion, what's discreet. Yes, sir.
Is that also connected to where the Most High also says that wisdom shall meet you at every thought?
Wisdom will meet you at every thought. He says you shall be found with a quick conceit. In judgment, you'll know how to quickly utilize the Most High's way of thinking versus your own way of thinking. You won't fumble or scramble. Man, let me think about, give me some time. I got to think about what the Most High would want me to say. You're able to quickly fire off what the Most High's will is at any time. Read on.
And shall be admired in the sight of great men.
And you will be admired in the sight of what?
Great men.
Then you'll sit amongst those that are found in where exquisite parables are given. Then you'll be found in seats of judgment. Then you're needed in more than just one capacity. So I wanted to start, that's not even the point of the class. But I wanted to start with that because this is what Christ was doing. And it's too important to bypass what Christ was doing as we begin this story about what he's teaching his disciples. Because it's too much to just gloss over that point. That's why we had to take the time to explain this. Now let's go back to Matthew chapter 14.
Come.
And I want you to read again and give me verse 23.
Cover. Matthew chapter 14 and verse 23 reads, And when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up into a mountain apart to pray.
So, like I said, we had to expound on this point because I think it's very important that we take on this mentality as well. What Christ is doing in action and also what he's about to instill into his disciples. Read on.
And when the evening was come, he was there alone. But the ship was now in the midst of the sea, tossed with waves.
He said, but the ship was what?
Tossed with waves.
So now he's linking back up with the disciples. He told them, y'all go ahead and go in front of me. I'll meet y'all on the other side. Y'all push forward. I'll be there. So now they find themselves in a particular condition or situation or circumstance. And they're in a ship, and that ship is about to capsize. Read on.
Tossed with waves.
Now, is this the first time that the disciples have been in this situation? No, it's not. Go to Matthew chapter 8, verse 23. This is not the first time that the disciples were found in a situation where they were in a ship, but it was tossed with waves. Let's read that. Matthew chapter 8, verse 23.
Matthew chapter 8, verse 23. It says, And when he was entered into a ship, his disciples followed him. And behold, there arose a great tempest in the sea.
That tempest is a storm. Read on.
And so much that the ship was covered with the waves.
It says that the ship was taken on waves, covered with the waves. Read on.
But he was asleep.
It said, but Christ was what?
Asleep.
He was asleep. He wasn't stressing the waves. Read on.
And his disciples came to him and awoke him.
I just saw that movie, little Edomite Australian girl. It's based on a true story where she's in a little bitty vessel called Pink. And she navigates the ocean by herself. And she has a lifelong passion to be the youngest person to ever circumnavigate the ocean in a ship. And this movie's kind of corny, but I tell you what's not corny is that the waves that she was facing in this little bitty vessel, little bitty sailboat with with a little poop butt engine, little bitty sailboat. I don't even think it had a motor on it. I think it just, matter of fact, it didn't have a motor on it. It was just a sailboat. And the type of 50 foot, 60 foot, 70 foot, 80 foot waves that she was taking on, and this was based on a true story. I don't know the name of the movie. Kids were watching it. But the wave that she was taking on was throwing the boat around to where she was throwing up. She's 16. She's throwing up and vomiting in the vessel. She has to strap herself down to the vessel with a seatbelt as she's taking on waves. She has to pull the sail down to make sure it's not tossed back and forth. And then she gets stuck in the Pacific, where the ocean, like for 12 days, there's no wind blowing. So she just stuck in the middle of the ocean, and she starts losing her mind a little bit. She actually starts going crazy, having some maniac episodes, because there's no wind blowing at all, and it's just her and her thoughts. And she starts to lose it. She starts to break down. And then right before she made it home, back to Australia, she hit another wave that two storms became one. They collided into one mega storm.
That's amazing.
And the boat actually flipped over and she went underwater. And she has a little device in the boat that tells her parents when she's underwater. And the parents couldn't get a phone call. And they said, our baby is 15 feet underwater. And the boat was upside down. And she's in there just waiting for the boat to do something. And then soon as she Nazai, what's the name of that movie with the girl in the pink boat? True Spirit. Movie called True Spirit. Check it out when you get a chance. If you want a real life circumstance that gives you an idea what it's like to be in a little bitty boat, but you have no control over the boat. You're just thrown around, vomiting, throwing up. You're just throwing up because you're seasick. And you're taking on 70-foot waves, and you have no control. And the little girl survived out of that circumstance through 6 different storms. Movie called True Spirit. Check it out. Funny how the name of the movie, right?
Yeah.
But
Holy Spirit.
yeah, but this is not the first time the disciples been in this situation where they don't have control over the ship, and the waves have seized and arrested the ship. The ship is under arrest. You have no control. Powerless. Read on.
It says, and behold, there arose a great tempest in the sea, insomuch that the ship was covered with the waves, but he was asleep.
He said, but Christ wasn't worried about the waves. Why wasn't Christ? Well, we'll answer that later. The lesson is for the disciples. Read on.
And his disciples came to him and awoke him, saying, Lord, save us, we perish.
It said, we're about to die. We perish. Let that go. Come back to it later on. Go back to Matthew 14 and 25.
Matthew chapter 14,
24.
verse 24 reads, but the ship was now in the midst of the sea.
Sounds familiar. This is not the first time the disciples have been in a situation where they are in the middle of the sea and they have no control and they're taking on storms. Massive waves. Read on.
Tossed with waves, for the wind was contrary. And in the 4th watch of the night, Yahushua went.
The 4th watch of the night, so you understand time when you read the Bible. The first watch is 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Because the evening and the morning was the what? No. The evening and the morning is the what? Is the first day. So the day starts in the what? In the evening. So the first watch when you read the Bible is 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. The second watch is 9 p.m. to midnight. The third watch is midnight to 3 o'clock in the morning. The fourth watch is 3 o'clock in the morning to 6 in the morning. So when we're talking about it's the fourth watch, that's 3 in the morning, between 3 in the morning to 6 in the morning. That's where the disciples are, in the middle of an ocean with no control. At 3 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock in the morning, they're about to capsize. It's one thing to capsize in the daytime. It's another thing to capsize in the pitch black of darkness. Read on.
Come, and in the fourth watch of the night, Yahweh Shai went unto them, walking on the sea.
And he was walking on the what?
Sea.
See, the first time that they was in the ship, that they hit these storms, Christ was in the boat with them. He was asleep. The second time they hit the storm, Christ wasn't in the boat. For what reason?
Wow.
Say it again.
To test their faith.
You know what Christ is doing? He's stair-stepping their faith. Just like what the Most High does with us. The Most High just don't throw you in the midst of a situation that you can't handle or control. He starts to slightly, incrementally build you up in a situation, little by little, that's equivalent to your level of faith and belief. It's true when the Most High says he doesn't give a man more than he can handle or bear. The Most High puts you in situations that are equal or equivalent to your level of faith. See, the first time he had to be there in the ship with him, they would have flipped out. They already was flipping out and he was asleep. The second time they flipping out and he's not even in the ship. But they should have learned from the first time that they had nothing to fear. Obviously, they hadn't learned from the first situation that they should have faith, just like Christ did when he calmed the sea. They didn't have any reason to fear. He said, but Christ came between 3 and 6, 3 in the morning to 6 in the morning. He said that. Right here. Oh, okay. No, okay, no problem. So he said, from 3 in the morning to 6 in the morning, he said they saw what? Right here.
Come, walking on the sea. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled.
They said they were what?
They were troubled.
Saying what?
Saying, it is a spirit.
They said it's a spirit. Sound like a Scooby-Doo.
Scary.
It is a spirit. Now in Greek, this word is phantasma. Like a phantom. Phantasma. It's a phantom or an apparition. It's a ghost. It's what we call ghosts. So people back then believed that they saw phantasms. Phantoms, spirits, apparitions. He said these, listen bro, if you was in the brother's house, I'm going to tell you this. If you lived in the brother's house circa 2001 to 2000, I'm going to say 12 to 15, you saw phantasms too. You know what I'm saying? Because when I say the brother's house, for those that don't know, we take men from all backgrounds and conditions, and whatever spirits that they be having on them, and bring with them, and we move them into the brother's house for stability purposes when they become a member of the body in the church. But a lot of times men have not submitted themselves to the Most High in Christ, and they're still bringing spirits that they were affiliated with in the world into the brother's house. And whatever brothers be doing, them apparitions, them phantasms, they actually pop up, and people have seen them apparitions in the brother's house. Physically seen them. Yes, sis.
True story, because there was a sister that called me, and she was saying, another sister, she was saying that she was supposed to be moving to Dawiyad's house, but it was somebody that she entertained already at the brother's house.
Dawiyad don't live there, just so you know. Yeah, at the time.
So what was happening, she calls and she says, my box is full. She already told us, the little girl that was there, the spirit that was there, don't want her to leave. She has to stay there. It was too much. So it lift up the box.
Yeah.
Her box. And I was like, hey, Thalom, this is need to talk to you. So Thalom was like, tell that spirit I was ordered by the elders that I'm leaving, put my box down.
Well, listen. When you having a conversation with boxes that are floating, there are some phantasmas in the room. So I didn't know that story in particular, but I knew many other ones. But the whole point is,
Yes.
are you gonna subject yourself to your superstitions? Are you gonna let superstitions get the best of you? Because that's what they're allowing right here in this situation. The idea that that's a spirit, oh, that's a spirit on the ocean. Is that going to deter me from believing in the Most High in Christ? Because a lot of people have superstitions. A lot of people see things or hear stories. But is that going to deter me? Read on.
Come. It is a spirit. And they cried out for fear.
And they cried out for what?
Fear.
Get the definition of fear. 1828. Just read it.
Fear. 1828. Webster's Dictionary. A painful emotion or passion.
It says a lot of people come in the truth and they got painful what?
Emotion.
They have painful emotions which we call trauma. You come in the truth with your trauma. You come in the truth with your emotions, with your past, with your luggage, with your vices, with your affections, with your superstitions. He says, read it again.
Fear. A painful emotion or passion excited by an expectation of evil.
It says, and it is excited or accelerated by an expectation of what?
Of evil.
So a lot of us have fears. And these fears are brought on by different scenarios and different conditions. Everybody's fear is different.
Gonna hurt me, harm me, take advantage of me. You know that one brother that spirit jump on his back.
Yeah. The spider monkey spirit.
Yeah. Brother go to sleep. Every time he go to sleep, spirit jumped on his back.
Yeah, spirit
It's on my back. It's on my back.
the spirits that jump on brother's chest.
Yeah.
The little troll looking spirit that just sit on your chest. Try to compress your chest down and take your breath away. A gnome looking spirit.
Yeah.
But are you going to let these things dictate your confidence? Are you going to let these superstitions dictate your confidence? These apparitions? These circumstances? These conditions? Or this trauma? Are you going to let that get you to violate your relationship with the Most High?
Because it's all spirits.
Read on.
Come, verse 27. But straightway Yahushua spake unto them, saying, Be of good courage.
Nope. I got cheer.
Cheer, Salaki. Be of good cheer. It is I. Be not afraid.
He said, it is me. Be not what?
Afraid.
Christ don't want you afraid. The Most High don't want you afraid of whatever conditions, phantasmas, situations or circumstances that you're going to come into that's going to cause you an overwhelming anxiety or fear.
Panic. It's a resting panic.
Yep.
It's like, I don't know what to do. I can't think. I can't breathe. I'm nervous. What I do.
What do I do? Where do I go from here? What are we going to do? That's true. But that's that fear that messes people's relationship up with the Most High. Is that I'm overcome with fear, so therefore I'm deterred, or I'm at an odds with the Father. I don't have a relationship with the Most High because my fear is too great to trust the Most High.
God.
He said, "It is I. Be not what?
It is I. Be not afraid."
Read on.
And Peter answered him and said, Lord, if it be thou, bid me come unto thee on the water.
So now, out of all the disciples, why only Peter spake and said, if it's you? Why only Peter? Out of all the disciples, only one was not just shrunken back like it's a demon, it's a spirit on the water.
And test the waters.
It was why only Peter was able to say, Lord, if it is you, then call me out on the water. When you look at Peter, and why he stood out. Go to Mark. Go to Mark chapter 14, read verse 27.
Mark chapter 14 and verse 27. And Yahushua said unto them, all ye shall be offended because of me this night.
So Christ told all his disciples, he said, all of y'all gonna be offended. You're gonna turn your back on me. All of y'all gonna be offended of me this night. Read on.
For it is written, I will smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered.
Read on.
But after I am risen, I will go before you unto Galilee.
Read on.
But Peter said unto him,
But Peter said unto him, what?
although all shall be offended.
He said, wait a minute. Peter said, what? Don't speak for me. Peter said, yeah, out of you saying all of us. He said, don't speak for me. He said, although all of us may be what?
Offended.
Read on.
Yet will I not.
He says, Peter had a greater zeal. And he had a greater confidence in Christ than the other disciples. Man, it may not always been true, but at least where he stood at, he had a more bolder confidence that regardless of what the other disciples will do, don't speak for all of us, what they may turn their back on you. He said, but what?
He says, yet will not I.
He said, but I won't. So now it makes sense why only Peter was the only one to speak up in the face of adversity, while everybody else was shrunken in fear. Because his confidence in Christ was greater. He had a greater zeal for the Most High in Christ. So it makes sense to why only Peter actually asked Christ, if it's you, then bid me to come out on the water. Go back to that in Matthew.
Come. Matthew chapter 14, verse 28 reads, and Peter answered him and said, Lord, if it be thou, bid me come unto thee on the water. And he said, come. And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water.
Stop. A lot of people don't believe in this Bible verse. There's a lot of gainsayers. There's a lot of naysayers. There's a lot of people that because of this particular verse don't believe in the New Testament. Because of this particular verse, they have issue with that the Bible is real. Because what man says, and I've seen videos where people say, well, if God said that man could walk on water, then go walk on the ocean now today. If they did it then you should be able to do it now. And if you can't do it now, then they didn't do it then. This is what people say. But what does the Bible say?
And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water to go to Yahushua.
Stop. Let me tell you why people they have issue with why they have issue and they have doubts and the fact that the Bible just told us that Peter walked on the water. Go to Jude chapter 1 verse 3. Okay. Read that.
God, Jude chapter 1, verse 3. Beloved, when I gave all diligence to write unto you of the common salvation.
He said, Jude said, when I gave all diligence to write unto you of the common salvation. Read on.
It was needful for me to write unto you and exhort you.
He says, because it was necessary for me to write unto you and to exhort you, which means to motivate you or to incite you. Read on.
That ye should earnestly contend for the faith which was once delivered unto the saints.
That you right now, it's not that if they did it back then you should be able to do it now. What he said is that if you earnestly make a commitment to have the type of faith that they had back then, you possibly could do it now. The only difference is that do you put in the same effort of belief that they had back then, and do you believe as much as they believe? Because there is a stark contrast of the saints that we read about and their level of faith versus our level of faith. And that's why they walked on water and we don't. But if Jude is giving you clarity and he's giving you an understanding of why there is a difference, he said, because you haven't fought enough to have their type of faith. Has anybody fought enough to have the type of faith that Moses had?
You know, meekness, that meekness he got, he didn't know that.
Has anybody fought enough to have the type of faith that Abraham had when it came to Isaac? Who's putting together that kind of faith? Who's putting in motion and displaying that level of faith? But Jude said, I'm going to write to you in the hopes that you will fight to have Peter's level of faith. And if at least if you do, he said, then you should be able to do what Peter did. Read. Let that go and go back to, just want to bring that point out. If there's any doubts, that's why. Because there's a separation of faith.
Verse 29 again?
Yes.
Matthew chapter 14, verse 29 reads, and he said, come. And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on water to go to Yahushua.
The Bible just told us that Peter was doing what?
Walking on water.
Now, we understand that there's different levels of faith. So yes, initially Peter's faith got him on the water, and he was walking on the water. He walked on the water. True. Read on.
Verse 30. But when he saw the wind boisterous, he was afraid.
He said when he saw what?
The wind boisterous.
When he saw what does it mean when he saw the wind boisterous?
It was wild.
He said the wind was blowing crazy. And what else?
He was afraid.
It says he looked at the what? The conditions. He got distracted. He got distracted. And from that fear of the condition that he was in, created a distraction. From something that he had already accomplished. Something that he was already doing. How often do we allow fear to come into a situation or a condition in our life where we take our eyes off the Most High, although we were just fine a day ago. We were just fine a month ago. We were just fine a week ago. But now this week, I don't know how I'm going to make it. I don't know how I'm going to get through a situation. Yes, sir.
No, I had a question on what you were talking about with Peter. Like, is his faith considered greater than ours if he was technically walking with Christ and he was able to physically see that example?
Yeah.
Like, us not seeing it or having that example, let's say, right here with us.
Yep. It was. Go to Matthew chapter 16 and give me verse 13.
Matthew chapter 16, verse 13 reads, when Yahushua came into the coast of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, saying, whom do men say that I, the Son of Man, am?
Read on.
And they said, some say that thou art John the Baptist.
Some of the disciples said, Christ, people say that you're John the Baptist. Read on.
Some Elias.
Some says you're Elijah. Read on.
And others Jeremiah,
Go ahead.
or one of the prophets.
Read on.
He said unto them, but whom say ye that I am?
He said, but I don't want to know. Christ said, I don't want to know who the people think. Okay, I got that. They think I'm John the Baptist. They think I'm Jeremiah. They think I'm Elijah. I got that. But who do y'all say that I am? That's what Christ want to know. Who does Christ say his? He wants to know firsthand from his own disciples. Who do you think I am? Read on.
And Simon Peter.
And who was it out of all the disciples?
Simon Peter.
Who stood out again?
Simon Peter.
Out of all the disciples, only one spoke. It said what?
And Simon Peter answered and said, thou art the Christ.
He said, you're the anointed Savior. How come the other ones didn't answer?
They didn't know either. He might be Jeremiah. I don't know.
It might be Elijah.
He might be
But,
John.
but how can he say that he was John when this was written? John had just got beheaded, so then he couldn't have been John.
You know, it's crazy, but you know the disciples respected Elijah very much. Because even they were praying or asking Christ for Elijah's level of power.
Yep.
They want that level of destructive power to smite people on hand from fire from heaven.
Yep. But you know what? Only one person out of all the 12 disciples, only one spoke up, and one made it had confirmation and had the utmost confidence that regardless of what they say, I know who you are. Peter said what?
And Peter answered and said, Thou art the Christ,
You're the anointed.
the Son of the living power.
You're the Son of the Most High. There was no doubt in Peter. So can we say that Peter's faith excelled the other disciples? His level of belief? Yeah. Can we say that Peter's level of belief excelled our level of belief? We hit a snag in our life and we ready to quit and give up.
Huh?
Am I wrong?
No.
We ready to depart and do something different, or just depart period, or just not do anything at all, or to just give up and quit? We hit a little bitty bump in the road in our life and we say, man, this can't be the truth. The Most High cannot be with me. Let us hit a little bitty situation. Let us come across a circumstance and watch are we going to walk on water? Read.
Come.
Stop right there.
Okay.
Just wanted to bring that point out.
Come.
Let's go back to Matthew 14.
And 30.
Mm-hmm.
Come. Matthew chapter 14 and verse 30 reads, But when he saw the wind boisterous.
He said, but when he saw the wind what?
Boisterous.
Read on.
He was afraid.
He was what?
He was afraid.
Read.
And beginning to sink.
And he began to what?
Sink.
He started to sink. What was that definition of fear again?
Fear. 1828. Point number 1. A painful emotion.
He said he got overwhelmed with what?
Painful emotion.
What do you do when you come across painful emotions? How do you respond? That's everybody to ponder on their own. Because everybody's different. Everybody has a different response based on the condition that they're in. But we see already that the Most High is stair-stepping the disciples in their faith and their trust. He's not just throwing them in the ocean by themselves. At first, he was with them in the ocean. The next time he walked to them while they're in the ship. Same result, the waves was quenched. Same result, the storm dissipated. Same result, the disciples survived. Same result. But the condition was supposed to be a tutorial. Stage 1, I'll be asleep in the boat. Wake me up if you need me. Stage 2, you're crying out for me. You're crying out to me. But I'm still available, even though you're crying out to me. Even though you have superstitions and you're panicking and you think it's an apparition, I'm still with you. But what do we do? Read on.
He was afraid and beginning to sink.
And fear does the same thing to us. Fear does the same thing to us today. There's conditions that you can survive. There's conditions that you can go through. There's conditions and scenarios that you can tolerate. There's conditions and scenarios that's not too much to embrace. As painful as it is, you can get through it. But do you allow the fear of the situation or the condition that is making you feel? Because that fear is a what? Once again, Kariah.
Fear. 1828. A painful emotion.
That's a feeling. These are feelings. Read on.
He cried.
No, the definition. Oh, the
Con.
definition.
A painful emotion or passion excited by an expectation of evil.
It's excited by an expectation of what?
Of evil.
Read on.
Or the apprehension of impending danger.
Or I'm apprehensive now because I don't like what I see coming in the near future. So I'm afraid of what may happen. Even though something has not happened as of yet, I'm still anxious because of what may happen. So I'm still paralyzed. I still don't do more. I still don't walk on water because I'm still stuck because of what may happen, what may occur. Fear will do that to you. But Peter was successful in his initial approach to Christ. And he let the conditions get the best of him.
That's real.
Yep. Read on.
He was afraid and beginning to sink. He cried, saying, Lord, save me.
He cried out and said what?
Lord, save me.
He cried out, Lord, save me. Read on.
Verse 31, and immediately Yahushua stretched forth his hand.
He said immediately. He stretched forth his hand. Read on.
And caught him.
And caught him immediately. But it didn't come with just a saving hand. It came with some reproof. Read on.
And said unto him, O thou of little faith.
He still told Peter what was wrong with him. I'm going to save you. Go ahead and get you out of this wave and this water. He said, but still you failed what?
You have little faith.
He still said there's something wrong with your faith. You know what he's showing him? You don't trust me. You don't trust me. They had already been to this situation before where they was on a ship and the storm was great and Christ. Matter of fact, go back to that story. Go back to Matthew chapter 8, verse 25. They had already been here before. But had their faith increased from the last scenario? Has their faith increased from the last storm? Read that.
Matthew chapter 8, verse 25. And his disciples came to him and awoke him, saying, Lord, save us, we perish.
So, save us, like Peter just said. We perish. Read on.
And he saith unto them, Why are ye fearful, O ye of little faith?
Same situation. Previous condition, they hadn't grown yet. They hadn't matured yet. But as far as what in particular? As far as in faith. He said, why are you fearful, O ye of what?
Of little faith.
Of little faith. Same situation. You already been here before. You should have at least grown or at least learned to trust that if you put your faith in me, I'll solve the last situation that you were in. I helped you through the last condition, through the last storm, the last battle that brought anxiety. Why in this situation is the same result? You're not growing. Your trust in Christ is supposed to be growing. Your faith in Christ is supposed to be growing with every bad condition. Because the Most High is there to assist you through the condition. Read on.
Then he arose and rebuked the wind.
And then he rose, rebuked the wind. Read on.
And the sea. And there was a great calm.
He says he rebuked the wind and the sea, and there was a great what?
Calm.
Go to let this go. Go to Psalms 34:19 and go back to Matthew chapter 14 verse 31. Yeah, no, you. After this point, yeah, read that.
Psalms 34, verse 19. Many are the afflictions of the righteous.
He said, "Are you guaranteed a smooth voyage in the truth? Are you guaranteed a stress-free, problem-free experience in your walk with the Most High in Christ?" No. He says, "Many are the what?
Afflictions of the righteous.
Go ahead.
But the Lord delivereth him out of them all."
But with every single affliction, your trust in the Most High is supposed to be increasing. With every circumstance, every condition, and every battle that you go through, there's one thing that's supposed to be growing is your faith in the Most High. And those storms, those conditions, those afflictions are faith builders.
Come. And with the angle, Psalms 107 verse 6, and then skip to verse 23. Psalms chapter 107 verse 6,
Come.
and then verse 23.
Psalms 107, verse 6. Then they cried unto the Lord in their trouble.
They cry unto the Lord in their what?
Trouble.
In their trouble, their tribulation, their strange scenario where we're overtaken by phantasms or extreme emotional intensities, i.e. traumas. Read.
And he delivered them.
And Christ did what?
Delivered them.
Read on.
Out of their distress.
An example of that will be verse 23. Read.
Psalms 107, verse 23. They that go down to the sea in ships.
See, the Most High, the scripture says, he does not change, right?
Okay.
It says Christ the same today, yesterday, and what? Forever. So if the Most High don't change, and Christ don't change, if he tested Peter and challenged Peter, if he challenged the disciples, it's safe to say he'll challenge us, right? We know that already, right?
Okay.
But we're showing another example of him challenging men in previous times. Read on the scripture.
They that go down to the sea in ships.
They go down to the sea in ships. Read.
That do business in great water.
Because listen, that's how you get money. Listen, shipping was a business. They got things to go, places to go, items to acquiesce and get. Read.
These see the works of the Lord.
And men that put themselves in this condition, where they're in this ocean, that there's no control. When you have no control, you're going to see the works of who?
The Lord.
The Lord. Read.
And his wonders in the deep.
And his wonders in the deep. It's talking about whales and, you know, sharks and stuff like that.
And giant squid.
Yeah, flying fish. I used to love the flying fish. I was a little kid, watch those Disney movies. See the flying fish and Pinocchio. No, it's not talking about those type of wonders. It's spiritual wonders because the Most High is a spirit. Now, what wonder are they going to see? Read.
For he commanded and raiseth the stormy wind.
So he commands. Who controls the storm? He commanded and then did what?
Which lifted up the waves thereof.
He raised the stormy wind, which lift up the waves thereof, kind of like true spirit, right? Or perfect storm, right? Read.
They mount up to the heaven.
They mount up to what?
The heaven.
Extremely high waves. Read.
Mm-hmm.
They go down again to the depths.
Read on.
Their soul is melted because of trouble.
So how do men feel emotionally and spiritually when they can't control their environment?
Trouble.
Their soul is melted because of the trouble. I have no control. Read.
They reel to and fro and stagger like a drunken man.
Read on.
And are at their wits' end.
Key point. Intense anxiety. I'm at my wits' end. I'm in an ocean scenario. I have no control. I'm like a drunken man. I'm staggering. I can't stand up spiritually or mentally. Read.
Then they cry unto the Lord in their trouble.
Then men want the Most High.
Yep.
Men want the Most High when they get to a point where I'm at the point to die. I may die in this storm. I may not come back to my family in this storm. I might lose everything and all the property that's in this ship that I've been working for. In this storm, we might have we might not get anything. We might do all this for nothing. Read.
And he bringeth them out of their distress.
And he brings them out of their what?
Distress.
The Most High, once again, does the same thing he's always done. But if you're going into distress, who's going to bring you out of distress?
Most High.
But only when you do what? Call upon, like the scripture says, right? They cry to the Lord in their trouble. Read on. Then what happens? When men cry to the Most High, what happens?
He maketh the storm a calm, so that the waves thereof are still.
So who controls the storm? Who controls the intensity of your storm? That's what the class is called Training in the Ocean of Faith. It wasn't the first time with the disciples. It wasn't with the disciples. It wasn't just with the holy men. It was with unholy men too. Everybody's going to deal with this ocean. Read on.
That's perfect.
God.
Read on.
They are glad. Then are they glad because they be quiet.
If men wasn't glad, because men ain't glad when things are good,
Nah.
you can't find no joy when things are all right. When things are consistent, same quarter, another quarter. The other thing men say out. Now they know the dollar, right?
Yeah.
Once you're in a storm scenario, then men are thankful for consistency and boring routine. Read.
Then are they glad because they be quiet. So he bringeth them unto their desired haven.
And then the Most High brings you to your desired haven.
Yep. Just like the Most High park your boat, a haven like a haven of ships. The Most High bring you into the bay and park your boat and put you at ease. Now I'm at ease. I'm relaxed. I'm comfortable. But I like what you brought up. Go to Job chapter 9 verse 1. And read verse 7. Because the Most High said, he brings men down at the depths of the ocean. Yeah, the Most High does do these things, but what we can't underestimate is that the Most High is short on power. Read that, Job chapter 9 verse 1.
God, Job chapter 9 verse 1. Then Job answered and said, I know it is so of a truth. But how should man...
He said, I know this of a truth. Read on.
But how should man be just with the Most High?
He said, how should man be right with the Most High? Man has to trust the Most High. And what they have to trust in particular is his power. Read verse 7.
Verse 7. Which commandeth the sun?
He said the Most High gives order to who?
The sun.
So what kind of power must you have in order to command the sun? Read on.
And it riseth not, and sealeth up the stars.
He said the Most High could blacken out the stars. What else?
Which alone spreadeth out the heavens.
He can block out every single star. He has that kind of power. What else?
And treadeth upon the waves of the sea.
And what else? What else do we have to understand when it comes to the Most High? When the ocean is unstable or the conditions is unstable, who is the one that walks on the ocean? Who is the one that walks on the waves? Who can walk on the wave with you? He just said what?
And treadeth upon the waves of the sea.
Who walks on the waves of the sea? Yahweh does.
Wow.
Literally. So you can put your trust in the Most High. Because as you feel like you're in a condition where you're going to drown and you're going to sink, you're forgetting the power of the one that walks on water. That can carry you through a situation. You're not alone. The problem is we don't trust the Most High. And we underestimate his power. Therefore, we sink with fear. Don't understand it. Go to 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 17.
2 Kings chapter 6, verse 17.
Read that.
2 Kings chapter 6, verse 17. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes, that he may see. And the Most High opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire.
Now, a sister had asked a question. If you feel that you have messed up so bad, and it's far gone, How can I go and pray, not feeling worthy to even stand before him because I stay messing up? All right. So we're gonna help answer this question, but let's get that one more time. 2 Kings chapter 6. Read that one more time. This time, start up a little bit. Start up at verse. Start at verse 13.
2 Kings chapter 6, verse 13. And he said, Go and spy where he is, that I may send and fetch him.
So this is the king of Syria, Ben-Hadad, looking for Elisha, because Elisha keeps knowing his thoughts that he discusses in his affairs that go on in his bedchamber, but the Most High keeps assisting Elisha to tell his secrets that only he spoke about in his bedchamber. So Ben-Hadad is upset and is losing it and is ready to put Elisha to death because he thinks there's a rat or a mole amongst his household or in his army. All right, read on.
And it was told him, saying, Behold, he is in Dothan.
And so somebody said, okay, I know where Elisha is. He's in Dothan. Read.
Therefore sent he thither horses and chariots and a great host. And they came by night and compassed the city about.
So they're trying to ambush Elisha at night. Read on.
And when the servant of the man of the Most High was risen early and gone forth, behold, and hosts compassed the city, both with horses and chariots.
So when the servant, which is Elisha's servant, which at some point in time it was Gehazi, the one that got hit with the leprosy. Now I don't know if this was the same servant or this was Gehazi or a different servant, but in the morning, Elisha's servant woke up and saw the mountains covered with horses and chariots and armed men. Read on.
And hosts compassed the city both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, Alas, my master, how shall we do?
He said, what are we going to do? We're in trouble. What are we going to do? I don't know what to do. I'm about panicking. We're surrounded. We're about to be put to death. How shall we do means what are we going to do? When you're at a loss for words and you're in a situation where you don't have any answers for, and you don't know what to do, this is what this man is saying. I don't know what to do. We're in trouble. Read on.
Verse 16. And he answered, Fear not.
He said, but the first thing came out of Elisha's mouth is what?
Fear not.
So what's on the man, but what's not on Elisha? Fear. That's one thing that you can't do when you're in a situation that you don't have an answer for. And you don't know how things are going to go and how things are going to be. The last thing you want to do is be afraid. He said, fear not. Read on.
Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them.
He says, because we're not surrounded, they're surrounded. We're not, death is not upon us, death is upon them. They're in trouble. We're not in trouble. See the confidence that Elisha has versus the fear and anxiety that his servant has? Two different spectrums. Polar opposites in faith. That's what separates a lot of us. The conditions are severe in everybody's life. But what separates us is the faith and fear that be upon us and the anxiety that come with it. The uncertainty of not knowing how things are going to fare out and pan out in our life. That changes the dynamic of how we look at the Most High. He said, we're not in trouble. Read.
Verse 17. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes.
He says, you need to do what?
Open his eyes.
Is he talking about his physical eyes?
Wow.
Go to Mark chapter 9 verse 18. Hold that. Somebody else get Mark chapter 9 verse 18. Is Elisha praying to the Most High that this man's eyes are open? This man's eyes are already open. That's why he said we're surrounded. What are we going to do? But he's talking about something else. Get Mark chapter 9 verse 18. Who got it?
Mark chapter 9 verse 18. And whosoever he taketh him, he teareth him.
Hold on, let me see. Hold on. Let me get it. That's not it. Let me see if it's Matthew. I want where he says, he's talking about something in particular. It's go to Matthew 13 and 15.
Come. Matthew chapter 13, verse 15. Ready?
Yep.
For this people's heart is waxed gross.
It says because the eyes that he's talking about is not the eyes that are witness between the physical eyes, your iris, your pupil, your retina, your cornea, your lens. That's not the eyes that he's talking about. He's talking about the mind. A lot of times our people's minds are contaminated. Our minds are restrictive to us. The way we think limits us and what we're able to, how we're able to trust the Lord. He said this people's heart is what?
Wax gross.
Go ahead.
And their ears are dull of hearing.
The word dull means to grow fat. It's fat or to become dull, meaning there's a layer of fat over my ears that creates a stubbornness about me where I can't follow. Read.
And their eyes they have closed.
And he's talking about because their mind is contaminated, they can't see the Most High correctly. He said their eyes have they closed. Read on.
Lest at any time they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted.
It says something about them has to change. The only thing that's going to change your perspective is that they have to be what?
Converted.
They have to be converted. You got to be converted from a paralyzed state of fear and anxiety to a state of trust and competence in the Most High. This is what the Most High, this is what Elisha is praying so for his servant, that the Most High open his eyes up, that he converts the way he thinks. Now, what's going to help him? Let's go back, let that go, and go back to where we're at in 2 Kings.
2 Kings chapter 6 and verse 16. Excuse me, verse 17. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes, that he may see. And the Most High opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire.
He says the mountain was full of what?
Full of horses and chariots of fire.
He said the mountain was army men, cavalry. This was something different. I want you to go to Genesis chapter 28, verse 12, so we understand when the Most High opened this young man's eyes, what did the young man witness? Go to Genesis chapter 28, verse 12.
Okay.
Genesis chapter 28, verse 12 reads, And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and on the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of the Most High ascending.
It says the angels of the Most High do what?
Ascending.
It says they go up. Read on.
And descending.
And the angels of the Most High also do what?
Descending on it.
They also come down. What he's showing you is that the angels of the Most High have the ability to commute through the celestial, which means the heavenly realm, down to the terrestrial realm, and they have the ability to go back and forth. The angels have that ability to transverse the terrestrial and the celestial. The angels come and go, and they go back and forth. But for what purpose? Go to Psalms 91 and give me verse 9. Why does the Most High have the angels having the ability to descend and ascend back and forth between the terrestrial, the earthly, and the celestial or the heavenly?
Psalms chapter 91, verse 9.
Read that.
It says, because thou hast made the
Read
Lord.
it again.
Okay. Psalms 91, verse 9. Because thou hast made the Lord, or the Most High, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation.
It says, because when you make the Most High your refuge, what does it mean to make the Most High your refuge? Your safety, your resting place, your place of safety, your hiding place, which also means you trust the Most High. He says, because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, read.
Even the Most High, thy habitation.
Read on.
There shall no evil befall thee.
He says, when you put your total trust and you put your confidence in the Most High, he says, there shall no evil do what?
Befall thee.
So what does the Most High do to guarantee that no evil shall befall you? Read on.
Neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling.
Read on.
For he shall give his angels charge over thee.
So what does the Most High do to ensure that no harm comes to you?
For he shall give his angels charge over thee.
What does the Most High do to ensure that no plague attacks you?
For he shall give his angels charge over thee.
To do what?
To keep thee.
To sustain you. And what else?
In all thy ways.
And it says to sustain you in all your ways. What does the Most High have for each and every one of us? Guardian angels, man. Each and every one of us, the Most High has angels that have a duty to protect and ensure the safety of those that put the trust in the Most High. The problem is, you don't see it. You don't see those angels. You're not even conscious of their existence and of how they go back and forth from heaven and earth for the sole purpose of keeping you safe. You don't see it. And because you don't see it, you don't acknowledge it, and you're arrested and paralyzed with fear. And you live life panicked and uncertain with no confidence because you haven't seen the layer of protection that the Most High has established for you. This is why Elisha is telling the Most High, can you please open this man's eyes up? Can you show him what you got in store? Can you show him what's available? Because he don't seem to understand. We're not surrounded. They're surrounded. We don't comprehend this point. When he's saying that they'll keep you in all your ways, meaning they're there at all times. For example, go to Exodus 28. Give me verse 30. Or verse 20. 23, I'm sorry. Exodus 23 and read verse 20.
Exodus chapter 23 and verse 20. Behold, I send an angel before thee.
He said, behold, what?
I send an angel before thee.
The Most High said, behold, pay attention. I will send what?
An angel before thee.
I will send an angel before thee. Read on.
To keep thee in thy way.
He says he will keep you and protect you on your way, on your journey. Read on.
And to bring thee into the place which I have prepared.
And he'll steer you and guide you into the place that I have prepared for you. What does it sound like the Most High has available for us? He's got angels around you. How come we don't see it? Because we don't have that faith yet. We haven't. You can only see those angels when you've developed that level of faith. You only have that level of confidence when you have that level of belief. You only have that level of security when you have that level of trust. where you're not afraid of conditions. You're not afraid of circumstances. Although they may be paralyzing, although they may be extreme and stressful, but you have to gravitate and grow and mature to a heightened level of awareness that the Most High has provided safety for you at all times. This is why Elisha is telling the Most High, he's praying to the Lord, please open up this man's eyes and let him see the side that he doesn't see. Go back and finish that in 2 Kings.
2 Kings chapter 6. You want verse 17 again?
Mm-hmm.
2 Kings chapter 6, verse 17. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes, that he may see. And the Most High opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. And when they came down to him, Elisha prayed unto the Most High, and said, smite this people, I pray thee, with blindness. And he smote them with blindness according to the word of Elisha. And Elisha said unto them, this is not the way, neither is this the city. Follow me, and I will bring you to the man whom ye seek.
And so he pulled a Houdini and a Jedi mind trick on the whole army because the army was blinded. So they just had to follow Elisha's words. He said, the man you're looking for is actually talking to him. But he said, the man you're looking for, I'll show you to him. The Most High put you in a situation where he converts the circumstance in your favor at all times. But what do you call that? What is that called? When you're able to take off your physical eyes and look at everything in your life from a spiritual lens. What do you call that? Faith. That is the essence of faith. Faith is the ability to not look at severe conditions and circumstances that bring dread upon you and cause you to disconnect from the Most High. That's what faith is all about. Is when you can remove those physical lenses off your eyelids, not talking about the physical eyes, but when you can see things and judge things from a spiritual perspective, and you know that the Most High will take care of you. You know that the Most High will provide for you. That is the definition of faith, and we're going to prove it. Go to Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1.
Hebrews 11. Ready?
Everybody get it. Go ahead and get that. And I'm going to look for this verse right quick.
Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
He says, he's telling you what faith is. Read it one more time.
Con. Hebrews 11 and 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for.
Now, in science, anybody ever had science class? Right? No, somebody had science class? All right, I hope so. Now, in science class, Esau will tell you that what? He'll tell you that matter is what? What's the definition of matter? You own it. No, you own it, Nathaniel. What is it? Say it again. I heard it. Anything that has mass and takes up space. Right? So that's the definition of matter. Anything that has mass and takes up space is what Esau tells you that matter is. Now, when you look at the definition of substance, substance is made up of a matter. So it is a real thing. Get the definition of substance.
Substance. Point number 1.
Yes, sir.
Con. Substance. 1828. Point number 1. In a general sense, being something existing.
It says faith is made up. It is the substance, meaning it does exist. Or in Esau's terminology, it does have matter because it does have mass and it does take up space. So it's a real thing. So he's saying substance is what?
It says being, something existing by itself.
It exists by itself. Now, what Esau says that exists by itself, they call these things dark matter. Dark matter is what Esau spends billions and billions and billions of dollars for to build underground super colliders and collide high speed using magnets and centrifugal force, high speed particles, and collide at each other, and then take milliseconds, millionths of a second, frame by frame photos to see what particles come out of these anomalies. They call it dark matter. Now, they also, the irony of it is, they also call it, they're looking for the God particle.
God particle.
So, that's the irony of it. They're looking for, and they're in search of the God particle, the thing that connects everything and creates life. Because they still don't understand how the Most High created life.
No, they didn't believe in God.
They don't. So they're going a back route and a scientific way to find out how creation was made. When the Most High tells you how things were made. But they don't believe in God, so they spend all this money and they do all these science projects and they spend billions of dollars while there's people on welfare blowing money to try to find out something that the Most High already told you that how he put it together.
Wow.
Now the Most High is telling you that faith is a real thing, but it is have a substance. Esau calls it the God particles. It has matter. He said it does exist. Read on.
It says equally applicable to matter or spirit.
It says they call it matter or what?
Spirit.
Or spirit. Now that's the thing. The Most High doesn't let Esau have the instructions and the breakdown of what the spirit is. He can't use science to figure out the spirit. The Most High has blocked that. He won't let him get that because it's necessary. Something is missing in order for them to understand how the spirit works, and they'll never get it because I'll let the definition tell us. He says they call it the spirit. What else they call it?
It says thus the soul of man is called an immaterial substance, a contemplative substance, a substance endued with thought. And it also says the essential part, the main or material part, something real, not imaginary.
They said it's something real, it's not imaginary. Faith is a real thing.
Right.
It does exist. But there's only one aspect of it, is that you can't see it with your physical eyes. And it's made this way. The Most High has made faith undetected by the physical eye, undetected by telescopes, undetected by X-ray, undetected by gamma ray, microwave, undetected by any type of man-made sphere, ion or particle collector or collider. He's made it undetectable because you have to have something to see it. Read Hebrews again.
Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for.
It said it is the substance of what?
Things hoped for.
So what is the missing ingredient that Esau doesn't have in order for him to understand the spirit or understand faith? No. They don't believe in the Most High. Like Dawiyah just said, therefore they'll never understand the spirit. They'll never understand how the Most High works. They'll never understand what faith is made out of. Because in order for you to understand faith, it's activated by what? Hope. It's activated by hope. You have to have hope first. Just like Esau will he'll throw billions at a project hoping to see something.
Yeah.
He'll throw billions at a project hoping to see a water-like Earth somewhere in the galaxy or in the nebula. He'll throw billions on hope to see something based on his calculations. Well, he'll never see the Most High. Because the way faith works is that it's activated by hope, but it's what? Read on.
Come, the evidence of things not seen.
And you cannot do what?
See it.
You cannot see it. That's how the Most High has made faith. It is a real thing. Faith is real. It is a true substance. According to Esau, it has mass. It takes up space. It has volume. But they can't find it because you can't see it. Romans 8 and 24. And we're going to come back to that Hebrews.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Romans chapter 8, verse 24 reads.
You want to slide it in there?
Yeah, you just want to slide it there. Put his name next to it. Read that right there.
Romans chapter 8, verse 24 reads.
It's Kariah's verse.
For we are saved by hope.
He says we are saved by what?
Hope.
You have to have hope in order to be saved. He says we're saved by hope. Read on.
But hope that is seen is not hope.
It says, but hope that is seen is not what?
Hope.
It's not hope if you can see it. It wouldn't be constituted as hope if you had the answers and you saw how things are going to turn out. The way the Most High required for you to take off that physical lens and to comprehend His assistance to you in your life is that you have to believe that He's there. He said, hope that is seen is not hope. Read on.
For what a man seeth, why doeth he yet hope for?
He said, because if you could see it, you wouldn't have need of what?
To hope for.
If you could see hope, it wouldn't have no need for it because you saw it. Faith is made out of things that are built on the unseen. It's based upon belief. Hebrews 11 and 6. And then come back to verse 1.
Hebrews 11 and 6. But without faith, it is impossible to please Him.
Read on.
For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that He is.
That word that if you come into the Most High, you must believe that He is, meaning that He exists. The word He is means He exists or is into His being. So you have to believe that the Most High exists. So in order to have hope or to use faith, you have to believe that the Most High is real. If you do not believe in the Most High, He'll never show you His Spirit. He'll never reveal to you the way He does things. It takes faith in order to comprehend the Most High. And it takes faith, it takes hope in order to see the unseen. You cannot look at life and believe in the Most High based upon only what you see with your 20/20 vision, 20/10, 30/10, whatever vision you got. You cannot understand and comprehend what the Most High is doing by looking at life through your own perspective. You cannot understand the Most High. You cannot understand the Spirit. You have to believe in the Most High, but you can't trust your own vision. It says, for what a man seeth, what need he have to hope for? Hope is necessary in order to follow the Most High. Another word for hope is trust. In everything that the Most High is doing, He's trying to get us to elevate our level of trust in Him. And the conditions that we face in life mitigates and it actually it subjects us into this idea that nothing that I'm doing is going to work. Like the sister asked the question, if you feel that you have messed up so bad and it's gone, how can I go to the Most High and pray, not feeling worthy even to stand before Him because I stay messing up? You are saved by what? Hope. So you have to increase in hope. There's one thing that the Most High has done in order to feed your hope. And that's in Romans chapter 10, verse 17. There's only one thing that the Most High has set aside in order for you to increase in your hope. What is that? Romans chapter 10, verse 17.
Romans chapter 10, verse 17.
Read that.
It says, so then, faith cometh by hearing.
It says there's only one thing that the Most High has put on the earth that can allow you to increase your faith and stimulate your hope. He says what?
So then, faith cometh by hearing.
It says faith only increases by what?
Hearing.
Read on.
And hearing by the word of the Most High.
And it's not just hearing anything, because there's a million books you can read. There's a million blog talkers. And there's a million podcasts that you can tap into. But if they're not feeding you with what?
By the word of the Most High.
Then your faith in the Most High will not grow. There's a lot of what's his name? David Goggins.
Motivational speaker.
There's a lot of motivational speakers out there that can get you motivated. You read about the 58-year-old Edomite lady that just qualified for the 2024 Paris Olympics. She's 58 years old, and she just qualified in a particular event. It's a speed walkers event. It's a I didn't know they had power walking in the Olympics, but that is she made it. 58 years old and just made it through the power walking. You know what I'm saying? She just made it. But when you look at what she's doing, she's walking 12 miles like in an hour and 40 minutes.
Cool. She's gotta be ripped.
That's fast, bro.
That's fast. That's real, bro.
That's fast.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
That's fast. Bro, it's hard to
12 miles an hour?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
12 miles like an hour and 42 minutes.
I'll say okay.
Bro, that's still brother. That's still a lot, bro. Yes, sir.
Amazing.
You know what I'm saying? It sounds weird, but you know, the idea of it is that on your feet, still gotta be on the ground like the entire time.
Yeah.
When you're running, and you're kind of jumping up and down.
She has a slender feet.
So I say, yeah, the idea of that Olympic sport is like 1 foot gotta be constantly on the ground at all times.
Yeah, and so but what separates her from the people is her training. Her husband said that he never met anybody with determination that she possesses. She walks every day, 7 days a week, at 5 o'clock in the morning. But when you got that type of determination, and you have that kind of commitment, and you put that kind of effort because you believe in what you're doing, look at where it gets you. 58 years old after having 5 children. Mind you, I'm going to throw that out there for all the sisters that got kids and understand what happens when you have children, how the body gets out of whack, how the body loses its proportion. But after having 5 children, this woman has made the 2024 Olympics. Because she believes. Look at where her faith got her. Look at where her commitment got her. Her husband said, man, he said, I just watch her go. He said, I don't even get in her way. He don't even have that level of commitment to where he said they train together, they work out together, but for what she does on her own is what got her where she's at. Yes, sir.
She separated herself.
Yeah, she separated herself. He don't work out with her on certain things. She has her own motor. But think about what she's doing as a 58-year-old, almost 60-year-old woman after having 5 children. Matter of fact, she's a grandmother. She just had her first grandbaby. I gotta throw it out there too, because a lot of people get to that point where they feel like it's about the kids now. My days are over. No, it's just lazy. You need to get out there. You can keep going too. Grandma's getting it too. She's a grandma too. I don't want to misquote that. 58 years old after having 5 children, a grandmother now, making it to the Olympics. 12 miles in an hour and 40 minutes. Why? I'm only bringing this out to show that when you have faith in what you're doing, what can stop you? When you believe in what you're doing, sky's the limit. 16-year-old Quincy Wilson just made it to the Olympics. High school kid.
The relay
What's
team.
that about?
He's going to run the 400 relay.
Yeah,
What?
He broke the under 18 world record.
Yep, world record, national record, and he's going to the Olympics at 16 years old.
It's amazing.
And you
That's
know what he said? He said they put on their cleats one at a time like I do. He said I'm not afraid of them. I'm not afraid of the competition. They do the same thing. He said, but I train just as hard as I do or they do to get where I'm at. He broke 2 records just trying to make it to the Olympics.
Yeah.
He broke 2 national records in the trials.
Whoa.
With grown men. He broke 2 records in the trial to make it to the Olympics. But the way he trains, him and his coach said we got something special because he said we train and we break the 400, which is one time around the track. He said we break it up in increments so that we know every step of the way where we're supposed to be at on the track and at what time. We've timed the track to where his coach is saying we got it down to a science to where we time it where he knows where he's supposed to be and how much energy he needs to give at every stage on the track. 16 years old make it to the Olympics. 58 years old grandma make it to the Olympics. Because they got what? Because they got hope. They got faith. They don't quit. They don't give up belief. Here we got angels. Notice I got angels around us and we still be doubting. Notice I got angels around us and we quit. And we give a whack effort to the Most High in Christ. And we got angels around us. They don't even know that much. They don't even have our level of comprehension and understanding. But we doubt the Most High as soon as we hit a little impediment. We hit a little brick wall where the money's not right, situation's not right, the household ain't right, my marriage ain't right, my circumstance ain't right, my money's jacked up. We had a little bitty hole in the wall. My car's messed up, and we're just overthrown with panic. No ability to persevere. That's why the scripture says there's only one thing to feed your faith, and you better use it. Read it again, Romans 10 and 17.
Romans chapter 10, verse 17. So then, faith cometh by hearing.
He said faith increases by what?
Hearing.
He said in order to activate faith, increase faith, to feed faith, it comes by what?
Hearing.
And what is it? What are you supposed to be hearing? Podcasts?
And hearing by the word of the Most High.
It still comes back to that point that we made at the beginning of the class. Are you making time so that you and the Most High could have that one-on-one time where you're getting His will and getting His understanding by studying His word? Because if you do, the reward of that is your faith increases. Your hope in the Most High increases. You are responsible for feeding your own faith. But it's free. It's available to you. The Bibles don't cost nothing. You can get a Bible for free online. They'll send you a Bible for free. Physical Bible for free. You can download Bible apps in multiple languages for free. It's not like it's not available to us. Well, why do our faith be so low? Why is our stress level so high? Because we're not feeding the element that the Most High said must be fed in order for you to increase in hope and faith, which is His word. Now go back to, let that go and go back to Hebrews 11 and 1.
Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1 reads, Now faith is the substance of things hoped for.
Is made out of things what?
Hoped for.
You gotta. It's made out of things that's built upon hope. You need hope in the Most High, but you can't see hope. But the more you read, the more you have faith, the more you trust the Most High. You don't need to use your physical eyes so much. As your faith increases, the less you have the need to be able to look at things and say, I got to see it to believe it. The less you need that. You don't have to see how the Most High is going to do something or how he's going to work something out in your favor if your faith increases. Read on.
Come. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for.
Hold this. Give me Wisdom of Solomon chapter 12. And I want you to read verse 16 and 17.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12, verse 16. For thy power is the beginning of righteousness.
It says, because if I trust in the Most High's power, that's the beginning of righteousness. Read on.
And because thou art the Lord of all, it maketh thee to be gracious unto all.
And the Most High, he extends grace to us the more we trust in the Most High's power, not our own power. The more I'm able to see and believe and rest my faith and put my trust in the Most High, that he'll take care of me, the Most High will keep extending me what? Grace. He keeps giving me grace. He keeps dumping grace on me. Why? Because I trust him. I trust in his power. So in return, the Most High drops grace on me. Read on.
For when men will not believe that thou art of a full power.
The problem is when in our life, one situation, one little bout of turbulence, and what goes down the drain?
Oh, faith.
Our faith goes down the drain. Soon as we hit a brick wall, soon as something goes wrong, we stop believing in the Most High. We stop trusting in the Most High. So the Most High is like, okay. They hit a roadblock. They don't believe in me no more. They don't trust me no more. So what does the Most High do in return? Read on.
Thou showest thy strength.
He got to do what?
Showest thy strength.
So the Most High has to constantly do miracles. He's constantly got to show his strength because of what? Because of our disbelief. When did Christ said, wind be calm, ocean be still? It was when the disciples thought they were going to drown in the ocean. So therefore, what he's saying is, the Jews require what? A sign. They need another miracle. That's what we need. We got the Most High doing all kind of tricks to convince us that he's real. So usually what the Most High does is, he'll use a situation, he'll use a scenario where you know it wasn't by your power that the Most High came through because you were losing faith and you didn't trust him anymore, but you watched the Most High come through, whether it be by somebody else next to you or it might be your own personal situation. You knew it was the Lord because you knew you started to doubt. The Most High is constantly performing in front of us to get us to believe in him. That's why Christ did all these miracles. When you look at all the miracles that Christ was doing, yes, sir. But bring it out. That's a great point.
All these miracles were accomplished except where?
But why though? Get that verse because the guy is saying it's very important if you never read that before. That's in John chapter 6. Let me see. John chapter 12, verse 36. No, hold on. No, that's not it.
It's many miracles.
Hold on. Yeah, hold on.
37.
12 and 37?
No, That's not it. That's not it. Somebody gonna find it for me. It's when they were saying, we know your brothers, we know your sisters.
The carpenter's son.
Yeah. It was
13 and 58, Matthew. There were not many mighty works there.
Yep, that's it. That's it right there.
13 and 58.
Matthew chapter 13, verse 58.
But start up a little bit. 55. 55, yeah.
Matthew chapter 13,
We can break
verse
this down. That's a great point.
Matthew 13 and 55.
Uh-huh.
Is not this the carpenter's son?
But this is how people look. People that are, they're so focused on condition. They're so focused on physicality. Peter began to sink because he looked at the physicality of the scenario. The people never developed their faith because they're obsessing about the physicality of Christ. This guy was the son of a carpenter. They weren't looking at the works. They were listening to his wisdom. They didn't see people following him. This guy's the carpenter's son. His dad was a carpenter. That's his son. I'm not going to acknowledge. I'm going to purposely not acknowledge all the power that he's rolling in right now. Keep reading.
God. Is not his mother called Mary?
That's how simpletons think. And a lot of times when we have faith, it's because we're simple thinkers. That's an insult to all of us, including myself. I don't believe because I don't want to see the big picture. The big picture is always spiritual, but I'm fixated on something that I'm not getting, or I'm fixated on just physicality. I'm a surface thinker. I only think based on what I see, which is what I'm willing to believe. My personal limitation of belief. Another man sees more than I see because he's willing to see more than I see. He's willing to see more. I'm not willing to see more. So this is the carpenter's son. His mama's name is Mary. That's a very simple thinker. Read.
God, and his brethren, James.
And his brethren. This is his mental case. Why not to have faith and get a blessing from him? I know his brother, James. His mother's name is Mary, and his dad was a carpenter.
What does all that mean?
Maybe just an earthly being. They don't see that he's the begotten son of the Most High.
They don't think there's nothing special about him.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
No reputation.
There's nothing special about you where we should believe what you're doing. You're a common man. You're no different than one of us. There's nothing about you that I should have to increase my faith for. I don't see nothing in you. Well, go ahead.
You know?
God, and his brethren, James, and Joseph, and Simon, and Judas.
The obvious. They're obsessed with the obvious.
Because they're using what eyes?
Their physical carnal eye. And the carnal mind is enmity or at competition with the Father. Read.
God. 56. And his sisters, are they not all with us?
I mean, they just keep going on.
Yeah.
Okay, you know the family, bro. You know what street he grew up on. Read.
Whence then hath this man all these things?
Whence then had these men all these things? They didn't ask questions. They didn't do investigative reports. They didn't sit here and look at all the reports he's getting and analyze the reports. Like, when did this dude become some boss? He grew here, man, like our own man. Read.
Verse 57. And they were offended in him.
And you know what? Really, they were offended. I'm offended because I had to sit here and change how I think. A lot of people are angry because they have to mentally adjust. That's some of the most common counsels in Israel. Some of the most common counsels that you need to adjust your thinking. Whenever you say adjust to a man, you're going to see all kinds of demons come out. Sister too. When we tell somebody to adjust, the devil comes out. You say that one word, you find you make an enemy within 5 seconds. Hey, I think you need to adjust. Oh, I don't even know you anymore.
Yeah.
Read. That's the
Yeah.
devil in Israel. Read.
But Yahweh Shai said unto them, a prophet is not without honor, save in his own country.
And the old saying goes, you look a dog in the face, right? When a puppy gets used to his master, he looks him in the face. Because somebody's so used to seeing you day by day, there's no need for respect.
Yep.
Too comfortable. Versus looking at someone's virtues, like the classes teach. Read.
And, excuse me, and in his own house.
Yeah, he got. I saw.
No
his
respect.
House. I saw. You have my house is bigger than yours.
Hey, I see y'all arguing in that house. Don't act like you ain't see your sisters and brothers tussling.
Yeah.
Go arguing.
God.
You ain't special. You got problems in your house like I got problems in my house.
I remember you guys spent that one time. Your mama
What
spanked.
makes your way better than mine?
You're a man. I'm a man.
Yep.
Read.
58.
And like they said back in Moses' time, are we not all holy men?
Yep.
Yeah.
This is Moses with the face with the shield on it, face glowing, walking up the mountain of the Most High, hearing the voice of the Most High, bringing down the commandments twice. Are we not all holy men?
Yeah.
What's wrong with Israel? Huh? We can't get past what we want to believe. That's why it's based on lust too. And lust is what you want to see, what you want to believe. I don't want to believe more of this because if I believe more, I got to do more.
That's why he says their heart is waxed gross.
Kind of.
It's grown dim.
My understanding is diminished because I'm unwilling. Not because the blessing's not there. The blessing's there. Other people were getting miracles.
Yep.
People that were lame their whole life were getting miracles. People that were blind their whole life were getting miracles. People that were bleeding for 12 years were getting miracles. Countless miracles. Except the people with this mentality. This mentality is why we don't have anything.
Mm.
This mindset is why we don't have joy. Remember, the joy is once the storm's over. You're going to stay in that storm. If you're mad that I have one problem after another, it's because your faith needs more adjusting. So the storm can't calm down until you adjust. Nah, I ain't gonna adjust. Well, then stay in that storm then. Stay in the washing machine. Stay going up and down in your life. And I don't know why life. This is the truth. This is the truth. How come he's not going through it? Because his faith is developed, but yours is not at the moment. Read.
John 58. And he did not many mighty works there.
And Christ was trying to do some work. You know, you want to teach your homies you grew up with. You want to teach your best friend. You want to pull your favorite cousin to the truth.
You want to bring your neighborhood up?
Everybody in the neighborhood, man, I get this information. I'm going to go back and teach everybody. We all going to come to the truth. And the first thing they say is, man, you're tripping, bro.
You still a drunk?
You still, I know you want to smoke.
You still sell?
You listen, bro. We did a lot of dirt together, man. I don't know why you trying to make me change. I know you try to be a better man, but you ain't got to go. There's such thing as reading too much Bible. There's such thing as too much scriptures.
Yeah. You're not the same guy.
Listen, bro. Listen, bro. You're cool, but I mean, I don't know if you bumped your head or something.
You're brainwashed.
You're brainwashed.
But he said, not many what?
And he did not many mighty works there.
Why?
Because of their unbelief.
Because what does it take in order for the Most High Christ to reveal something to you? It takes some belief. So we minimized the effectiveness of the Most High's power because we simply don't believe in what He's capable of. Why is that? Romans chapter 14 and 22, I believe. Let's see. Yes.
Yeah. Romans chapter 14, verse 22.
Read that.
Hast thou faith?
It said, the question is, do you have faith? Read on.
Have it to thyself before the Most High.
It says, your faith is supposed to be between you and the Most High, not on the things around you and how you see things. Read on.
Happy is he.
And if your faith is between you and the Most High, it says, happy is he that what?
That condemneth not himself.
But if you don't have faith in the Most High, it says, the ones that are happy is the ones that don't do what?
Condemneth not himself.
Go ahead.
In that thing which he alloweth.
What do you call that when a person lives life but they condemn themselves? They feel hopeless. And what else?
Miserable.
Miserable. What else? If I'm down on myself and I feel like a loser, nobody's ever felt like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we're answering the question. It says, if you feel that you have messed up so bad and it's gone, how can I go and pray, not feeling worthy to even stand before him because I stay messing up?
Hopeless.
That hopelessness is there. That depression is there.
Despair is there.
That despair, the spirit of despair is prevalent. But why is it there? Because what? Because I'm condemning myself. So I condemn myself and I constitute myself as a loser, unworthy, forsaken, left behind, not worthy. Why? Because what am I lacking? Faith. If your gas tank is low and you run out of gas, you can't expect your car to run on nothing.
That's true.
How can your spirit operate on nothing?
That's true.
Your spirit don't run either. Your spirit don't go anywhere either.
Right.
You feel like I'm stuck. I'm in a rut. I'm pigeonholed. I'm in a situation or a case where there's no hope for me. Why? Because you can't run off nothing. You got to have something to keep your spirit going. If you don't have faith, you cannot move forward and progress. Faith is necessary for all these things. Faith gives me or allows me not to be condemned and have that spirit of condemnation. I'm supposed to increase my faith, and something is supposed to happen as I increase my faith. You brought it out in the verse you read in Nehemiah, how they prayed for 6 hours and then they did what for 6 hours?
Confess.
They confessed for 6 hours. So I'm supposed to increase my faith so I can come back and confess to the Most High that I didn't mean to be this way. Go to John chapter 3 and read verse 17. Because that condemnation will attack and jump on anybody whose faith is low. Why am I doing what I'm doing? I'm wasting my time. Why am I even doing this? Why am I even here? Well, your faith is getting low. Your faith tank is out of gas. Go to John 3 and 16. 3 and 17.
St. John chapter 3 verse 17. For the Most High sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world.
Christ didn't come so that you could walk around with no faith and you could feel like a loser. That is not why Christ died. Christ didn't die so that you could be hopeless. And you could say, what am I going to do? And I'm wasting my time. I'm wasting my life. I'm a waste of life, or I'm a waste of time, or I'm a nobody. Christ didn't die so you can take on that mentality. Read on.
But that the world through him might be saved.
It says, but that the world through him might be saved. Because we're saved by hope. Read on.
Excuse me. He that believeth on him.
And if I believe in what?
No, sure.
Christ. And how do I believe? And what feeds my faith? What feeds my belief? Faith cometh by what? Hearing. And that hearing what? The word of the Most High. So if I'm feeling condemned, I have detached myself from hearing what? The words of the Most High. We say it all the time. The first thing that people do that get weak, they stop studying.
It's the first stage.
That's usually the first thing that you'll find out is that somebody's study habits are very piss poor. Because when you examine their condition, their spiritual condition, psychological condition, mental condition, they wouldn't feel this way if they were frequent with the scriptures. But when I'm detached from the scriptures, I don't have any necessary reason to think positive. I'm overwhelmed with doubt. I'm overwhelmed with fear, anxiety. Because I really don't study. Because I really don't take time to study. I don't set time for that one-on-one time to feed my spirit. Read.
St. John 3:18. He that believeth on him is not condemned.
He said, he that believeth on Christ is not what?
Not condemned.
He's not condemned. Why?
But he that believeth not is condemned already.
But the ones that is condemned and walking around depressed, sorrowful, sad, full of anxiety, feeling like a loser, alone, feeling worthless, of no good value, that's a result of not believing in who?
Right.
In Christ. That's my problem. That's the source of my problem. That's the cause of my problem. Because I haven't learned to trust the Most High in Christ. Read on.
But he that believeth not is already condemned, because he hath not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of the Most High.
Read on.
And this is the condemnation, that light is come into the world.
And for this reason, he says, this is the reason why light came into the world. The Most High brought Christ into the world so that you can have hope, so that you can have faith, so you can have confidence in the Lord, so you can eliminate your fear. This is the whole reason Christ died. So you don't have to feel like a loser. So you don't have to feel like a nobody. Read on.
And men love darkness.
He said, but what you're going to find out is men don't take advantage of the death of Christ or the sacrifices of Christ. Because they rather choose what?
Darkness.
They rather choose the doom and the gloom. They rather choose depression. That depression is a choice. Not all the time. Sometimes it takes medicine. It requires some additional assistance. But a lot of times your outlook, you choose that outlook. You pick and choose that outlook like an outfit you put on every day.
What?
Like you wanted to wear gray, you wanted to wear black, you wanted to wear white, you wanted to wear red. Well, you choose depression, anxiety, fear. You pick that out of your closet of a wardrobe of distress. You put that on.
So it's like that Kanye West outfit he put on. Remember he had that clothing line on? It was whole, like had some bombs. Like, oh, he got a new fashion line coming out. Like homeless clothes, like rags. And
rags.
It was like, whoa, what this is the new style?
That's the new style, bro.
And people came to the mall rocking that distressed, disturbed, broken look. It became popular for a period of time.
Over baggy. Holes already pre-made.
Post-apocalyptic, like bum type clothing.
Yeah. Expensive bum.
Yeah, expensive bum. It became popular because, he wore it.
Yeah. But look at his mental state. He went from backpack rapper to singing gospel, then back to doing dope.
Going crazy.
And going crazy again.
Back to his dark twisted fantasy.
Yep. What a name. Read on.
He that believeth not on him is condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already, because he hath not believed in the name of the only begotten Son. And this is the condemnation, that light is come into the world, and men love darkness.
It says the problem is men love dark. They choose darkness. They choose not to study. They choose not to increase their faith. They choose not to believe and have more hope. They choose to be distracted and say, I'm too busy, I don't have time to study. That's a choice. They choose not to give the Most High one-on-one time. That's a choice. Read on.
Men love darkness rather than light.
He says, how do you know? Because if men didn't, they would do something different. He'll tell you, men that love light, there's a change that'll happen in them. And this is the change. Read on.
Because their deeds were evil.
Go ahead.
For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved.
But they don't open up to allow themselves to be what?
Reproved.
This is how you know men love darkness. They're not trying to change their mentality. They're not opening up about, these are my issues. They're not confessing their flaws. They're not confessing their issues. They're not bringing out, these are my problems. They just rather sit in that problem. So here you have the sacrifices of Christ, which provides you an alternative life from not from condemnation, but you don't use it because you're more comfortable in the mentality that you possess of not believing and having that dark mentality. Read on.
Verse 21. But he that doeth truth cometh to the light.
He said, but if I'm about righteousness, then I'll let my thoughts be known. This is the way I think. I'll manifest my issues. I'll confess my faults. Read on.
That his deeds may be made manifest.
So that I can bring my deeds out and my intentions out in the open. Read on.
That they are wrought in the Most High.
That I'm trying to let the Most High know that I want to be different. I want to change. I don't want to be the same person. So if you want to maximize on the sacrifices of Christ, where it's a game changer for your life, then start producing some conscientious confessions, do some soul searching, dig deep a little bit about what is my problem, what is my issues. Bring it out. Let it be known. Counsel about it. Speak about it. Because that shows the Most High that you want to be different. That you rather come to the light and not stay depressed, full of fear, and full of anxiety. That's a different direction that people take that don't want to be that way anymore. There is hope. You don't have to be hopeless. That's a choice. There's options. Christ opened up options. There's options available rather than just depression. So back to we're gonna end it. Back to Hebrews chapter 11, and read verse 1 again one more time.
Cool.
Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 1 reads, now faith is the substance of things hoped for,
Right.
the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report.
So when the elders and the saints, like we read earlier, used faith in the past, faith worked for them, and by it they obtained a what?
A good report.
A good report. They obtained a good reputation because they used faith appropriately. We're supposed to be earnestly desirous and contending for the faith that the saints of past were utilizing and tapping into. We should be striving with a diligence to duplicate that level of faith that the elders had. Read on.
Verse 3, through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of the Most High.
Read on.
So that things which are seen.
He says, so that things which are seen, which you can see, read on,
were not made of things which do appear.
The Most High created everything out of that which is invisible. And he also created faith the same way. The problem is, how do you get people who can't see faith, never used it before, who is unfamiliar with it? How do you get our people to buy in to an idea of faith that they cannot see? Say again. Your example. But that question is what next week's class is going to be about. How do you get people to buy into something that they can't see? Our people need signs. He said the Jews require signs. They don't just buy in for nothing. They don't just believe because you paint a pretty picture. They need more than that. So there's a way and a method of how you get our people to see and buy all the way in to something that they don't see with their eyes. Because that's tough. Because the way the Most High set up faith, you cannot see it. But we got to sell it. It's our job to sell it. If you're a disciple of Christ, male and female, you have to sell Christ. How are you going to sell an invisible product? You ever tried that? Man, I want you to think about what I got in my hand right now. But what I got right now is 2025. This ain't even came out yet. It's blistering red. It's got diamonds and rubies on it. Now, don't worry about the fact that you can't see this. Don't worry about that. It fits you. Trust me, it fits you. Don't worry about what size it come in. Don't worry about the color choice. It changes colors based on what you want.
My God.
Right now, you can't see it right now, but it's there. But I gotta go around selling something to my people who can't see what I'm selling. Try that for a minute and you'll find out how hard that is. Because that's what you're doing when you're selling the Most High in Christ and everything He created. You're trying to get people to buy into something that they can't see with their eyes. It's almost impossible, but it's not. And that's what we're going to deal with next week. All right, so shalom to everybody online. The water for watching. We'll catch you again on Friday. We'll be back in action on Friday. With that, we're going to go ahead and say a Majin will plunge walk down, rise and face the east, and set up a quick prayer.
Shalom.